Farming is a way of life. What you plant now is what you will harvest later. Farmers are nurturers who watch crops grow to ensure their families always have food. Hello there. Thanks for joining us on another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. We have some educational features lined up just for you in this next half hour. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Good day, I'm Lisa Rowe and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, April 17, 2024. A $197 million contract has been signed for the Onoto Bay Coastal Protection Beach Nourishment Project in St. Mary. The contract was signed during a ceremony at the Jamaica Social Investment Fund JSIF in Kingston on Monday. The scope of work includes the construction of 2 groins, which will function as a trap to hold the sand in place, and the placement of sand along 244 meters of the existing beach. This beach nourishment will extend 12 meters or 40 feet seaward from the existing slope. When completed, the beach will sit approximately 1.5 meters or 5 feet above sea level. Managing Director at JSIF, Omar Sweeney, says the work is targeted at one of the country's most vulnerable coastlines due to the impacts of global warming, climate change, and the rise in sea level. He says while the coastline is severely at risk, one of the objectives is to restore a safe beach for the more than 5,500 residents that have direct access to the beach.
This project will actually allow for specific engineering structures to be put in place that will retain the sand in the beach that has been taken away. It will protect the coastline from storm events, not just the day-to-day waves, but it will also protect the coastline from storm events by installing, specific scouring structures, specific different size of rock armor that will allow the beach to be protected.
Mr. Sweeney indicates that the project is being executed under the Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project and is slated for completion in June. 210 state-of-the-art surveillance camera systems will be added to the country's national security and public safety network, Jamaica Eye. The equipment is valued at $400,000 and was donated by the Republic of Korea to the Ministry of National Security on Tuesday. Portfolio Minister Dr. Horace Chang says the surveillance cameras will enhance the national security infrastructure and increase public safety.
In the case of our Jamaica Eye program, these cameras that are being handed over today will be integrated into a centralized system, as we also in business of building what we call a C5 center. There's a command and control center. The system will provide live feed of evidentiary quality that can be used as evidence in police investigation in support of law enforcement across the entire island.
Commissioner of Police Dr. Kevin Blake similarly says the cameras will improve public space monitoring and the investigative capacity of the police force.
The importance of surveillance systems in modern policing cannot be overstated, and these represent effective force multipliers in ensuring public order and public safety. The Jamaica Eye enhances our ability to offer quicker responses, gather indisputable evidence, and ensure a safer environment for our citizens and visitors alike.
6 major rural water systems averaging $36 million are projected to come into effect this year. Minister with responsibility for water, Senator Matthew Samuda, made the announcement in Friday's sitting of the Senate. The projects will benefit 11 schemes across St. Mary, Trelawney, St. Elizabeth, St. Thomas, and St. Anne. Minister Samuda says they will go to procurement shortly and a unit is being established to oversee the work.
We will ensure, Mr. President, that though we've already done work to improve water service delivery and utility reliability for over 300,000 Jamaicans over the last 2 years, Mr. President, that we expect that number to go upward of 800,000 over the next 2 years.
A philosophy of education for Jamaica has been finalized. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams says the decision was reached after lengthy discussions with members of the education community, including parents, teachers, administrators, and the church. She made the statement during today's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House. The education philosophy is one of the recommendations in the Education Transformation Report. It emphasizes teaching students pro-social behaviors, including sharing, assisting, donating, cooperating, and volunteering.
We want our children to be respectful, to value education and skills training, to value cleanliness in their immediate environments and the wider Jamaica, to see virtue in work, cultivate honesty, empathy, to obey laws and rules and conform to socially accepted behaviors. This all leads into the education philosophy that we will seek to inculcate in Jamaicans.
The minister reveals that principals received the bulletin on April 3rd, and its content has already been distributed to the education system via Schools Bulletin 49/2024. She adds that the ministry will continue to raise awareness of the ideology among educators to secure its widespread acceptance.
We also are depending on our principals and teachers to bring the philosophy alive in the school communities via devotions, discussions, and other activities.
The education philosophy is available for viewing on the ministry's website, moey.gov.jm. Jamaica has made another pioneering move to strengthen its social protection systems. This is being facilitated through the National Poverty Reduction Leaving No One Behind toolkit. It was launched recently by the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ. The toolkit is intended to build the capacity of poverty reduction stakeholders, strengthen service delivery to the poor and the vulnerable, and increase partnership, collaboration, and information sharing. Director General of the PIOG, Dr. Wayne Henry, says the toolkit is strategically aligned with the United Nations Agenda 2030 and the National Poverty Policy and Program. He explains that it has significant utility for any project, program, or intervention, whether local or international, that seeks to address vulnerable groups.
We anticipate wide usage as we share this toolkit even outside of the key stakeholders of the National Poverty Reduction Program, and expect that the tools will prompt studied monitoring and subsequent program adjustments, as well as the development of detailed databases for effective program management.
And finally, the Ministry of Agriculture says farmers continue to deliver increased production despite impacts from climatic conditions. State Minister Franklin Witter points to Jamaica producing 779,254 tons of domestic crops in 2023, the second highest amount ever documented for the country.
And consequently, the drought, as well as the short period of intense rainfall that we would have been experiencing, did have some impact on our productivity here in Jamaica. Nevertheless, Jamaica was still able to achieve its second highest level of domestic crop production.
Mr. Witter was speaking at the 41st Annual National Farmers Month Church Service in Trelawney earlier in April. He pointed out that the recognition of farmers this month offered a chance to boost funding for all departments and agricultural sectors. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lisa Rowe. Thanks for watching.
We are hoping that the time will come to be able to track these cars.
Hello, the house are burned down.
And punish those who are doing this.
All too frequently, a unit is unavailable for an actual fire emergency, merely because it is responding to a false alarm.
And it results in most instances to a waste of resources that could be used for more productive purposes. So I want to encourage members of the public to desist from this practice.
nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
The buzzing of the bees on the flowers and even around the trees, they make us honey that is used to sweeten our teas. They sometimes sting us on our hands when we try to catch them before they land. But that is not all. There is much more to find out about bees, and you'll see in this next feature in 3, 2, 1.
Apiculture is a art and it's a science. And it's an art and science of managing bees. So everything that we do in the hive, everything that is happening in the hive is very scientific. And as beekeepers, we craft the way how we manage the bees. So every beekeeper that you speak to, they will have a different approach to different aspects of beekeeping.
Given that the importation of honey into Jamaica is restricted, you can only imagine what big business beekeeping is for our farmers. They have expanded from just providing honey for citizens and have moved on to creating many different byproducts. But have you ever wondered how you can get involved and have your share of the sweetness?
For you to be a beekeeper, you have to develop certain comfort in dealing with this thing, which is not a maybe when you're a beekeeper in Jamaica. It is a must. So every time you get a sting, it becomes irritating to you. But then because we love what we're doing, we don't pay much attention to the irritating part. We're more focused on what we're doing, and we know that at the end of the day we're going to get honey. And when we get honey, we can convert that to money. So for us in St. Thomas, from time to time we have projects, and quite a few of the persons in St. Thomas who are beekeepers, they start out benefiting from projects that would have beekeeping components. So training is critical, because then you have to know how to navigate your way through an environment that is challenging to allow you to harvest honey and to make a livelihood from beekeeping. I would advise anybody who would like to make their own box to purchase a box to start with, or you borrow a properly made box, because the bees are very scientific. They're very specific in terms of the design of the space that they occupy. And if you make a mistake and where you're supposed to have 3/8 of an inch or 1/4 inch, you put 1/2 inch, or you put less than 1/4 inch, then you're going to have problem as a beekeeper. So a beekeeper has to be knowledgeable about what is normal in the hive. So I tell people that when you come into the apiary, there's a normal sound. And if you listen, you hear a hum. When I hear that as a beekeeper, I know that they're finding food out there. They're finding nectar, they're finding pollen, and so on, when I hear this hum. When you go into the hive, there are many things in there that you have to observe. Right? You have to observe the condition of the comb, whether the combs are, I always said, old and crystallized, because once they get old and crystallized, you want to get rid of those combs. You want to look at the color of the brood. When we say the brood, we're talking about from the larval stage now to when they get to the pupal stage. You want to observe that, because there's a normal way that they should look, and there's an abnormal way when something is going wrong that they would look differently. You want to observe the queen and the condition of the queen as expressed in the amount of eggs that are laid, as expressed by the amount of seal brood that you see. Right? In the bee yard, you want to be observant of everything. I usually tell trainees that when you come into the bee yard or into the apiary, you have to look around at the trees and the shrubs around, because there might be a swarm that is lingering. That swarm might have taken place in your absence, might even be the very morning before you come to the apiary. You have to observe and see if any of that is there, because if you let that swarm escape, then you're looking at some dollars and some of your profitability that is going down the drain. You want to be able to have a bee yard that is not necessarily sterile, but clean enough that if you have dead bees around, you can see them on the ground. If you have bees that have been affected by the varroa mite and they are suffering from viral attack, there's a virus that they call the wing curl virus. Those bees, when they reach the age and the stage to fly, they cannot fly because the wings are deformed. And so those bees, you will see them crawling on the ground, and they will crawl around on the ground until ants get them or until they die.
That's just the bare bones of what you need to learn about beekeeping. Do more research to increase your knowledge. But as you do, ask yourself this: am I registered with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA?
It is of great importance for a farmer to become registered or get registered with RADA, because indirectly they assist us in making national plans. For example, when we are doing our national plan, knowing the demographics of the farmer, where they are, the type of production that they do, it allows us to pinpoint as to what projects or programs can be implemented. And also, if we should have disaster, diseases, we know where the concentration of farmers are located. Or once you come to the RADA office, you can either speak with myself, the livestock officer, or the extension officer, and we'll provide you basic information on what is needed, how you go about it. We also give you the other linkages, such as the apiculture unit at Borders, that you can contact for other information. We also do assessment. We assist you in doing site assessments of your apiaries, and also kind of hold your hand in terms of getting started. And if we have projects or programs and we can have you on that project or program, we also put you there. The advice that I give to beekeepers is to do your production in a manner that has a business-like approach. From my observation, many beekeepers think that having the bees they're just there. They don't really take the time out to assess their apiaries. Mr. McNish mentioned about sanitation. They don't really look at that. So I say just manage your apiary, monitor your hives, keep your proper record so that you can have a good production.
As children of Her Excellency the Warrior Nanny of the Maroons, and as sons and daughters of Excellency Sam Sharp, Paul Bogle, George William Gordon, and Marcus Garvey, who paid for their lives and their freedoms, we have a duty to the present and the future generations. We have an obligation to fulfill the manifest destiny that is ours as a nation. We are a people with a message for the world. We are a nation that is destined. My vision, the vision of this government, is that we can achieve what any other country in the world has achieved.
We all need food to survive, from locally sourced ingredients to support our farmers to the produce we buy in the supermarkets. We all love fresh, nutritious crops that are guaranteed a good bellyful. Let's enjoy these delectable dishes that are sure to entice your appetite.
Jamaica is known for its culinary melting pot of flavors. Our local cuisine mixes inspiration from our European, African, East Asian, and Indian roots, making our meals a wonderful blend of herbs and spices, ranging from simple appetizers to a heavy main course. Under the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Grow Smart, Eat Smart campaign, we will look at ways to eat smart. And so today, one of our local chefs will whip up dishes using produce from his very own garden. Fruits are sources of many essential nutrients like potassium, dietary fiber, vitamin C, and folate. And it's best to have it at the beginning of the day. So starting off today's entree is a fruit platter being prepared by
Chef Dennis Osborne from B&E Caterers and Restaurant Limited. All right, so we'll be going right ahead. We'll be peeling to just create a simple design on the plate here. So we'll be having our pawpaw as well, promoting healthy eating. So here we are using a kringle cutter just to get it fancy. All these fruits that we have here, it's straight from the backyard, straight onto our plate right here. Here you go, perfect fruit platter within 5 minutes or less.
Food security will allow Jamaica to provide adequate and a safe supply of food for everyone, like the fruit platter seen here. Cultivating the food or fruits you love will not only add to food production, but make it more accessible. And if fruits are not your forte,
next on the menu, we'll be moving straight to our fresh salad. So here again, we're making a fresh salad, a green salad. So everything is straight from the backyard, and we'll be going ahead by just making some green vegetables. So we have our romaine lettuce, we have our iceberg lettuce, our cucumber, our carrot, our green tomatoes, and our little cherry plum tomatoes as well. Started right here. So peeling our carrots, getting it all ready for show. Okay. So we're having the carrot just for color, and carrot also is very healthy and good for us. Let's make some random chops in them. We can just drizzle with some olive oil, or we can add some fresh vinegar to it as well for that tangy taste. But I mean, look at it, it's as beautiful as it gets.
to top it off, you can add peanuts, cashew, or cranberries that are rich in vitamins and minerals. Just another way to make your taste buds scream.
What's next on the menu is stuffed chicken breast with callaloo and stuffed tilapia fish with callaloo as well. So we finally chop in a clove of garlic. There we go. Add it to our pot and prepare in our callaloo as well. We're adding some carrot also to it for color. Some fine cubes within 5 minutes. It is all ready to go. Just a pinch of salt. So we're gonna go ahead and prepare our fire for the chicken breast. So we had a knob of butter in it. This is our chicken breast. We're lightly seasoned, salt and black pepper. Create a pocket inside our chicken breast here. We're gonna be adding our callaloo to the pot in just a bit. This will literally take 10 minutes in the pot, 5 minutes on either side. And then we are ready. You know we have to have some garlic as well in the oil to flavor it. It is very, very good. You know, we Jamaican, we grew up on garlic. So first thing you stick, grab a garlic. We're gonna stuff our tilapia while that chicken is getting seared. Here's the tilapia here. So we're gonna be putting a knob of butter as well, because we don't want it to be sticking in it, so the butter helps to moisturize it. So this is a perfect way to seal your tilapia and shove it in the ovens. We went ahead and blanched our vegetables, so just in our vegetables here. Add in a sprig of thyme as well. Also some fresh parsley. Let it rest for 2 minutes.
Grab your chicken, slice as desired, and voila!
Stuffed chicken breast with our own backyard vegetables and our charred tomato ready to go.
To keep the fire burning, a side of sweet plantains to complement the tilapia.
You know, Jamaicans, we love ripe plantain, right? We'll be cutting it on the bias again using our kringle cutter. So we're adding the Heights green and gold color to our pot. We're julienne our sweet peppers, and these are sweet pepper, these are not bell peppers. Pulling our plantains aside. There you have it, roast tilapia, plantain served with slice of avocado on our fresh vegetable from our backyard.
Just yum! And to fill all gaps in the stomach, what's better than to add a blend of cherry juice?
We're actually making about 6 cups of cherry juice, and it's optional for sweetener because these cherries are very, very sweet. We can add a tablespoon of honey if we wish.
And you can do all this with ingredients from a home garden. Let's continue to hold on to our traditions by growing the food we love. Excellent.
One of the problems that occurred in the past was the significant delay in the issuing of warrants for persons who did not pay at the tax office and did not attend the court. And so what happened there was that a culture of impunity had developed, where persons felt that when they received a ticket from the police, they could simply ignore it. So where we are now is that we are now current with the issuing of warrants in respect of the current cases. So what that means is that for persons who do not pay at the tax office, don't attend the court, the warrants are being issued and will be issued, and you will be arrested and brought before the court. If you do not wish to come to court, then go to the tax office. Also, you have the option of contesting it, so you don't pay at the tax office, but you must turn up at court on the date and time stated in the summons. Failing that, a warrant will be issued and you will be brought before the court.
This is where we close the chapter on today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Be sure to join us again tomorrow on the same station for another that's just as good. Until then, visit our website, jis.gop.jm, for this and more offerings. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you that farming is essential to life.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.